friends, my name is Kaylee and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a spoiler and spoiler-free review to the Owlcrate Book of the Month for May, and this is The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan He. And yeah, this one is an interesting read. So I'm going to be giving my non-spoilery review during the first part of this video, and then I'll let you guys know when to click off if you have not read this book. Before we start the video, if you have not already subscribed to my channel, please make sure to do so. I have reading videos every single Thursday on my new segment called Read It Thursday, and I also have some other fandom content, so make sure to subscribe to my channel if you enjoy this kind of content. Okay, so like I said, The Ones We're Meant to Find was in the May Owlcrate release, and it was Expect the Unexpected. And let me tell you what, this book was definitely Expect the Unexpected, because it was nothing like what I expected to read. So I will say that about this book for the non-spoilery section is that prepare to be surprised with so many plot twists, so much thrown at you, it's crazy. It's really good. I would say, like, I would give it like an 8 out of 10. It's good. I had some things I struggled with this. This is a very, very, very sci-fi book. And I mean, they talk about science a lot. I've been out of the sci-fi world probably for a good while, but like, you know, usually when I think of sci-fi, I think of like when they have all this technology that is like past what we have now, you know, it's like really advanced technology, and sometimes like you really have to like think about what they're talking about because it's kind of like out of our grasp and out of what we're used to. But like this book, it's like so much more than that. It's like really, and it's a book a lot about environmental factors, but it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of like very specific stuff. Part of that is because Kaycee, who is one of the two main characters, is very much into the science. She's a scientist, so you do get a lot of that. She's very analytical, so that definitely is part of the book, and it's usually her parts, obviously, that you get all of that, so it definitely makes sense for the context of the book. So I'm not trying to like criticize that part of it, but yeah, it's good. It's a very it pulls at you emotionally. It's a story that really helps you relate to the characters emotionally and their motivations and what they want. So I think this is a really good book. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to enjoy it. I'm gonna be real. When I first started reading the first few chapters, I was like, I don't know if I can do it. I knew I wanted to do this review for my channel, and I was like, I'm gonna have to suck it up and I'm gonna have to keep reading this book because I want to do this review. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be such a disappointing review because I'm not even going to like the book. But I tell you what, probably about like, I don't even know, it was probably like 5 or 6 chapters in, I started really kind of getting it a little bit. And then like the more you get in, the more you're like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So it definitely picks up. So if you're going to pick up this read, I definitely recommend giving it like the first few chapters, especially if you're not a sci-fi person like me, because there is a lot of that in the beginning for sure. And the kind of the dialect and the tone of it is very much like a colder tone in the beginning, and you get more of the emotion as you go on through the book. So yeah, anyways, that is it for the non-spoilery review. So if you have not seen, this is not a movie. If you have not read this book, then click away here if you do not want to be spoiled. Okay, so if you're still here, I'm assuming you've read this book, and wow is all I can say. So let's start with Kaycee's character first. Honestly, I enjoyed Kaycee's parts of the book. I thought she was a really interesting main character, and like in the author's note, you know, Kaycee's a different main character than what we've seen, and a different protagonist than what you've seen a lot of times, because she is so analytical and cold, and she even like kind of says it herself in the book. She's different than everyone else because she's not as emotional about things as really she thinks people should be. She feels like she's almost like missing the humanity chip, I think, you know, because she just doesn't, like, she just sees things super analytical. I definitely think that as the book progresses, like especially towards the end, you know, when she has that emotion over her sister a little bit more, I at least think I saw some of that emotion come out when it came to Celia, her processing her grief with that. However, she's still obviously very analytical. I mean, she cut out her own father from her life, and what she did to Actinium, which I'm probably not saying that name right. But yeah, like what she did to him, which I'm not saying is wrong. We'll get to that, but like I definitely think she is very analytical with her choices, and I definitely really enjoyed her character throughout this series, but she grew on me towards the end. She did. It was hard to read through her parts sometimes because they were so much science in there, like so much science. And so that was kind of hard for me because I'm just not typically a sci-fi fan. I like just more like fantasy in general is more my favorite genre, or contemporary. So sci-fi is one of the harder ones for me to read just because it's so much to process. And especially with this one, I feel like there was a lot of it, a lot of it in Kaycee's part. Yeah, overall loved Kaycee's stuff. I loved her in Actinium, and I loved the ending with her and Actinium, and Actinium's memories actually not being erased, and him having this whole thing with Kaycee still. I still don't quite understand, because honestly, you guys, I read the last third of this book today. I got home from work and I spent like an hour and a half reading the last third of this book, like powering through, because I was at such a good point in the book. I was like, once you get past that first third, you're just like, man, like at least that's what it was for me. I just like wanted to finish it. I loved their like little bit of relationship. I definitely didn't like Actinium towards the end, but I definitely like how they played it out. And like obviously I feel like most of us knew it was coming that Actinium was the one who created Hero. Oh, I was gonna say, I don't know if I quite understand why Actinium was so obsessed with Kaycee particularly instead of Celia. Was it because she was so into science? I feel like I need to reread this book. That's how much stuff, like there was so much science stuff in here and so much to process that was going on with the world. I feel like it took me a minute to process what was going on with the characters and their emotions. And that's not saying anything bad about this book, because I don't think that's a flaw of the book. I think that is a flaw of me reading sci-fi. So not against her. I don't know, I just felt like I didn't enjoy his character towards the end, obviously, because he was very, like, much the antagonist. I didn't want him to be the antagonist, but, you know, it got there, and I do think it was a satisfying ending in that sense that it came full circle, and we, like, knew that he was the one that created Hero. So that was a very nice touch. Okay, so transitioning to our other character, which is C, and I was so blindsided by C. C's chapters were actually kind of hard for me to read in the beginning, as well as Kaycee's. They were just like, I don't know, it drudged along for me. It was hard for me to get into those beginning scenes. And I really think Hero helped a lot. I was kind of getting into them anyways before Hero appeared, but once Hero got into the storyline, I was like, okay, like I'm in. I really was invested in it. I couldn't really understand why he had showed up there. At one point, my theory was that C was Celia. I keep wanting to call her Cecilia. I think it's just Celia. C was Celia, and Celia was dead, and she was like in a limbo or something. Like, I don't know. That's what I was thinking we were going towards. I kind of felt like it was like a Pirates of the Caribbean, Davy Jones' locker kind of situation, where she was like stuck there with like Hero, who was also dead and stuck there. I thought that was going to be the twist. And, you know, you knew something was going on because, like, C said she'd been there for years, and Kaycee had said that she'd been gone for 3 months, and it was this whole thing. But yeah, I didn't realize until literally she opened the little coffin or the pod where Kaycee was, that she was a bot. It took me until that moment to be like, oh my gosh. I definitely feel like it was there. I definitely like feel like and that's what's great about novels. Like, you get to that moment and you didn't see it coming, and then you're like, you could go back though and you could see it coming. You're like, yeah, like I am such an idiot. But you're also grateful you didn't see it coming, because that would have like, I'm not saying it would have ruined the book for me, but it definitely would have like taken away a lot of it. But yes, I loved her in Hero. Pretty much that was like the highlight for me. I really enjoyed him and her both, and like their emotion and having that emotional connection. I loved him sacrificing himself so she could make a decision that wasn't about him and it was about her and what she wanted to do. And I like that we kind of had a, I call it the lady or the tiger ending, which basically, for you people who did not have the same literature class that I did, there was a story called The Lady and the Tiger that ended on a cliffhanger about whether this woman would pick for her lover to go through a door that had a lady or go through a door that had a tiger, and it was a cliffhanger that drove everyone crazy. And I almost felt like that in this one, because it is like the lady or the tiger. Is she gonna pick the boy that she loves? I mean, she didn't say she loved him. She said she had more time, she could probably love him. Is she gonna pick the boy, or is she gonna pick these people that she doesn't even really like care? Like, she feels like she deserves a chance to live. She doesn't feel a connection to Kay anymore, but she also feels a connection to Celia, and she feels like she owes it to Celia. So, lady or the tiger would be Celia, like she's sacrificing herself, and then of course the lady would be like hero. I'm just going way deep into this analogy that I didn't need to do. I personally think she chose to save the people, and I feel like that was kind of made clear in the thing, but maybe not. Like, I'm gonna have to really reread it. I reread it once and I was like, I feel like she probably saved the people, but I also feel like it's open enough for determination where, like, you could argue that she did not. You could argue she didn't. We never heard anything else about Kaycee. We never saw them come back together. We never had a concrete decision. And in a way, I think that is a beautiful ending, because you get to really like think about it. And at the end of the day, there's no right answer, or I mean, unless the author like comes out and plain out says it, I feel like you can make an argument for either way. So I think that's a very awesome way to end this book. Also, again, very beautiful cover. Like, really beautiful cover. I always love books too that also have like a lot of representation in this book that I think is important, and is something that I believe Joan herself said in the author letter is something she did want to see. So I'm so happy that this book is what it is, and it's such a great book. I can't say it's one of my favorites just purely because it's sci-fi, and I don't ever really think a sci-fi book will be one of my favorites because it's just not my genre that I love, but it's really good. It's really good. I highly recommend. I'd say it's an 8 out of 10 because that's, for me personally, if I'm going based on writing and everything, I'd probably give it like a 9.5 out of 10. It was really, really good. For me personally, there was just some things that like I didn't love and it didn't gel with me, but it was nothing that I would really say against the author. It's just me personally. I hope you guys enjoyed this book talk, and also if you've read the book, I hope you enjoyed it as well. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and leave a comment down below letting me know what you thought of the book. I hope that you guys will subscribe if you haven't already. I actually already finished reading Shadow and Bone, which is the first book in the Grishaverse, well, this series of the Grishaverse, by Leigh Bardugo, and it was another one I did not think I would like. So I've just been surprised lately with my reads. I really didn't expect to like this book, and I did. And I didn't expect to like this book as much as I did. So I'm just getting pleasant surprises lately. But anyways, make sure you're subscribed so you do not miss more of my book talks and also my other fandom talks. I have a lot coming to my channel, slowly but surely, so I hope you guys will stick around. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a magical day, and I'll see you real soon. Bye!